In today's world, it's easy to confuse happiness with pleasure. We're constantly bombarded with messages that tell us to buy more, do more, and achieve more to be happy. But true happiness is not something that can be bought or earned. It is a state of being that comes from within. Pleasure, on the other hand, is a fleeting feeling that comes from external stimuli. It is the feeling we get from eating a delicious meal, listening to our favorite music, or spending time with loved ones. While pleasure is a wonderful part of life, it is important to remember that it is not the same as happiness. Happiness is a deeper, more lasting emotion than pleasure. It is a feeling of contentment, satisfaction, and well-being. Happiness comes from living a meaningful life that is in line with our values. It is about connecting with others, giving back to our communities, and making a difference in the world. Our brains are wired to seek out pleasure. When we experience something pleasurable, our brains release dopamine, a neurotransmitter that is associated with reward and motivation. Dopamine is what gives us that feeling of pleasure and makes us want to repeat the behavior that caused it. Serotonin is another neurotransmitter that plays a role in happiness. Serotonin is involved in regulating mood, sleep, and appetite. It is also thought to play a role in social bonding and altruism. Unlike dopamine, which is released in response to external stimuli, serotonin is produced internally. When we engage in activities that boost serotonin levels, such as exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature, we feel happier and more content. However, when we focus too much on seeking pleasure, we can actually deplete our serotonin levels. This is because dopamine and serotonin have an inverse relationship. When dopamine levels are high, serotonin levels tend to be low, and vice versa. The problem with pleasure-seeking is that it is inherently unsustainable. We can only experience pleasure for so long before we become accustomed to it and need more to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This is known as the hedonic treadmill. When we are constantly chasing pleasure, we never give ourselves the opportunity to experience true happiness. We become so focused on the next dopamine hit that we miss out on the simple joys of life. Moreover, overindulging in pleasure can lead to addiction. When we become addicted to something, it is no longer about pleasure. It is about seeking relief from withdrawal symptoms. Addiction can have devastating consequences for our physical, mental, and social well-being. The key to living a happy and fulfilling life is to find a balance between pleasure and happiness. We need to enjoy the pleasures of life without letting them control us. We also need to cultivate the habits and practices that lead to lasting happiness. Here are a few tips for finding balance. Practice gratitude. Take some time each day to appreciate the good things in your life. Connect with others. Spend time with loved ones, make new friends, and get involved in your community. Give back. Helping others is a great way to boost your own happiness. Take care of yourself. Make sure you are getting enough sleep, eating healthy foods, and exercising regularly. Live in the present moment. Don't dwell on the past or worry about the future. Focus on enjoying the present moment. By following these tips, you can create a life that is both pleasurable and meaningful. You can experience the joy of living in the moment while building a foundation for lasting happiness. Shasha 2025.